child's trust is a goal, then you want to start this video and finish it. Now, not just start and finish it, you want to apply what you're learning. It was Thomas Edison that first said, knowledge without application is a waste. So it's not all about coming here, starting the video and finishing it. It's about taking something and applying it in your parenting. Welcome to Questions Parents Ask with Enime Orebo. Today is not about questions parents ask. Okay, it's also questions parents ask because I started a video series on how to earn your child's trust. And along the line, each time I put up a video, I get questions as I get requests to explain more. So I decided, why don't I just make a whole video, and share here. So I'm sharing them here with the hope that you are learning, you watch, you learn, and you actually apply. Again, it is not about learning, it's not about knowledge without application is a waste. So it's not about just sitting and watching or listening, it's about applying it in your parenting. And if any your child's trust is a goal, then you want to watch this video from the beginning to the end and also apply whatever you are learning. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are watching from. Enime Orebo is my name, and this is Questions Parents Ask. Okay, like I said, today is about how to earn your child's trust. We know it is very important for our children to be able to trust us and confide in us. Now, if your child is not able to trust you, it simply means your child will not want to share with you what goes on in his or her life. And if your child doesn't share with you, how would you know? How would you influence them? How would you guide them? And guess what? If your child doesn't share with you, then there's a possibility that your child is sharing with someone, maybe their age mate who may not know better, or even an adult who may have negative intentions, who may not have good intentions towards your child. We don't want child to fall victims of things that they could have been able to avoid, or we could have been able to avoid for them. So it is very important that any your child's trust is a goal for you, is a goal for me, is a goal for every well-meaning, intentional parent. And today it's all about how to earn your child's trust. Now, before I go into it fully, I'd like to start by saying that when it comes to parenting goals, really, it is not about one thing. It is not always about, or it may not be absolutely about one thing you do or you do not do, but a series of things you do or you do not do. The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things you do, they put together collectively, make an impression, give your child about an image, give your child an image about you, make an impression in your child. And that impression they are going to react on, that impression they are going to act on. So whether your child is going to trust you or not trust you, it's going to depend on the impression they have of you, the impression they have built over the years. Now, this is why it is important for us to pay close attention, for you to pay close attention to everything I'll be sharing here, and for you to run with them. Yes, there may be things you are already doing. You may need to intensify. There are things you've not taken seriously. You need to start taking seriously. There are things you may not even have realized before. Now, this class is going to give you a light bulb moment, an aha moment. And I do hope that you run with it. Like I said, you take action after this class. So let's go into, I had to put them down because there are very many, really. Like I said, it's not in the one thing you are doing or you are not doing. It is in the many things, series of things you may be doing or may not be doing. So I had to put them together so that I do not miss anyone. I do not miss anyone. Again, Questions Parents Ask, and today's episode is how to earn your child's trust. For your child to be able to trust you enough to share with you what goes on in his or her life, the good, the ugly, the sweet, the bad, the terrible, and all of them, so that you can guide your child. So the number one thing here is, first thing you want to always do is to listen. Yes, listen. Oh, it's easy. I know you may say, I listen to my child. What's the big deal? No, very many times we do not listen to our children, especially when they are young, when they are young children. We don't listen to them. We don't pay attention to them. Things they come up with are irrelevant. Oh, they talk too much. Oh, they complain too much. Oh, they disturb too much. I work with children in school, and I have my own biological children, so I know exactly how children can be a handful sometimes. And their handfulness, if I must say, kind of make us not patient to listen to them. So when we don't listen to them when they are small, guess what happens? They will come back to you. They will come back to us to keep sharing, keep talking to us because they want to be listened to. So they will always come back to tell us, to complain, he pushed me, he took my toy, he's looking at me like this. They'll keep coming and on with their box. I can't do this is like this, with their box load of noise, disturb and everything, as we like to call it. But when we don't like to listen to them when they are small, as they grow older, they are realizing it, because there's a time in growing up where realization will come in, when they'll begin to put things together. They'll understand things, they'll understand body language, they will understand verbal language and everything deeper. They will understand this as it is. So they will realize that, okay, things I come to share with my mom or my dad actually disturb them. So they will not want to. So as they grow older, they will look for someone else who they want to share with. They will not want to share with you. And unfortunately, that is the time you want them to talk to you. The time you now want them to talk to you may not be the time that you have formed that impression in them that they are disturbing you. They are a handful, they are a truckload of noise, of disturb and everything. So when you have formed that impression in them, they do not want to talk to you. So when they grow older, it's not easy for them to come and talk to you. Those things that bother them, because over the years you've made it feel that those things that bother them are just a waste of time. So when your child comes to you, they're crying over maybe a missing toy, they're crying over, they're bickering and reacting to it. They feel, oh, someone has done something unfair to them, or they even have, let's say they're even jealous of their friend, or something we think are irrelevant. They are big deals to them. I read somewhere that if you don't learn to listen to your child in small things, they will not trust you enough to share the big things with them, and that is the truth. So if you have young children, you want to begin to listen to them. How do you listen to them? It's not just that by saying, okay, I've heard you. Oh, sorry. You are not listening to them. I said a time will come they will understand body language. And the body language, you know, when you respond in a monosyllabic way, when somebody responds to you that way, okay, fine. You know the person is not interested. Yes. When you talk about conversation, etiquette in conversation, you look at body language. It's important to look at the person's body language. And when the person begins to answer you in a monosyllabic way, one, okay, fine, all right, you know that the person is not interested. So when you answer your child like that, okay, fine, your child knows that you are not, a point will come, they will understand the body language that you are not interested. So what you want to do is, your child comes to you with an issue. Firstly, you want to pause whatever you are doing. You want to pause whatever you are doing and answer your child. You want to ask open-ended questions. You want to empathize. You want to listen. Everybody loves being listened to. Everybody feels important when they are being listened to. So you want to listen. You want them to finish what they have in mind to say. You want to truly understand them before you can jump in. You just don't want to say, okay, bye. Okay, all right. Oh, sorry. And go. Sometimes, yes, you can be very busy. We can be very, very busy and we are not able to be all out there listening to them. What are you going to do? In that time, you can tell your child, okay, give me a minute, give me 2 minutes, 5 minutes, and let me finish what I'm doing, and I will come back to you. That way, your child knows that he or she is important. If you learn to listen to them in small matters, they are going to trust you to listen to them in big matters. So number one, listen. Number two is take interest in their interest. Yes, it's just like listening. If something interests them and you show interest in that thing, it is easy for your child to absolutely trust you. So whatever interests them, try as much as you can to take interest in their interest, and it kind of brings parents and children together, when you have the same interest, you actually have topics. You actually have topics to talk about. You have conversations, you have discussions around them. If your child is interested in animals, you pick interest in animals, then you have something to talk about. You talk about all the time. That can actually foster your bond with your child. So take interest in their interest. Find it. You are the parents. You are the one who want to earn your child's trust. You are the one who want to influence your child. So it is you that will take interest in their interest. It is you that will go and meet them in the place they are. You go and meet them there, so that you can draw them to you. You are the one who wants to make the effort to draw them to you. So you are the one who will go to them. So you are the one who will pick interest in their interest and not impose your interest in them. Pick interest in their interest. Number 3 is minimize the blames. I think in my video series I shared this already. Minimize the blames. You don't always blame the child, because mistakes will happen. Your children are human beings. Mistake will happen. When mistakes happen, what do? You blame her, you blame her, you blame her, you blame. When things happen, they want to hide it because they don't know when you are going to blame. Yes, things happen, but hey, we all make mistakes. Mistake is a part of life. In fact, normalize mistakes. I put on social media one time that you should normalize mistakes in your parenting. Normalize mistakes, because mistakes are a part of life. Mistakes are a big opportunities to learn. So minimize mistakes. Now, in my book series for children, Manners, Points and More, book 5, there's a topic there, mistakes. Because I want the children to know that mistakes are an integral part of life. You can't take away mistakes. It's what you do with it, the lessons you learn, how you move on after them. After then, that is the big deal, and not the act of making the mistake. So you want to normalize mistakes in your relationship with your child, in your home. You want to make sure that you are not always blaming. Because when you're always blaming your child, when something happens, they don't want to share with you. They don't want to talk to you, because they don't know if you are going to blame them. Now, apart from not knowing if you are going to blame them, that blaming is already kind of slacking the relationship. So when the time comes, you want them to share with you, they already have developed not sharing with you as against sharing with you that you want. So you want to blame them less. Number 4 is you want to prioritize them. It is very important. We always say, oh, my child is my world. My world revolves around you, and on and on and on. And we do not prioritize them. We don't put them first. They know. They are noticing you don't have time. Your child knows that you don't have time. You don't have time to come for their PTA. You don't have time to come for their open day. You don't have time to even sit and listen to them. You don't have time to take interest in their interests. You don't have time for them. So when as they grow older, they are forming that impression. You don't have time. You have things that are very important to you. I have more important things to do. I have more important things to do. You always say that. So they begin to have the impression that they are not as important as those things you have to do. And so those things are the ones that are important. And so they will let you be. You know, when I was talking to teenagers, I heard things like, okay, I wanted to share with my mom, but she was doing this, which means you've made her believe that, okay, this thing you are doing, okay, the mom is a manufacturer, manufactures in small scale, and the mom was packing her product, and she said, I wanted to tell my mom, but that day she was packing her product, and the following day, I didn't feel the need to tell her again. Something of this magnitude, yes. So the mom has made her realize over the time that packing her product is more important than the child sharing with her. So what do you expect? So when she was packing her product, the child did not want to disturb that packaging of that product. And what are you packaging the product for? To sell, to make profit, so that you can take care of your children. Hey, so you learn to prioritize your children. You learn to let them know that they are your priority. If you always say, oh, my child is my priority, you are my world revolves around you, you actually want to say it beyond mere words. You want your action to actually reflect it. Number 5 is accept imperfections. Yes, I mentioned it already, that mistakes are a part of life. Your child is not perfect. You as a parent, you're not perfect. So stop projecting yourself as a perfect parent. When I was your age, I used to. When I was your age, I could. It simply means you are perfect and your child is a failure. That way your child do not want to share with you, because when you were her age, when you were her age or you were his age, you already knew. So they don't want to share with you because you are a perfect parent, So learn to accept imperfection. No one is perfect. Even you as a parent, when you were their age, I'm sure there are very many things they do now that you couldn't do then. And I'm very sure there are things that you could do then they can't do now. So learn to accept imperfection. Let your children know that you are not perfect. No one is perfect. And it's okay for them not to be perfect. In fact, you don't expect them to be perfect. If they were perfect, then you really will be worried. Number 6 is celebrate their wins and their fails. It is important. Celebrate their wins and walk them through their fails. That is it. It is important, yes. Unfortunately, we always have a way of focusing on the wins. When they do well, we celebrate it. We celebrate them. When they struggle or when they have a setback, we are all over the place. Our anger is over the roof because of a setback. When we keep doing this repeatedly, then we are kind of slacking the bond between our children, and we are kind of slacking the bond, and that will make them not be confident enough to confide in us. They don't want us to always remind them of their failures or always rub it on their faces. No one wants that. So please, your child has failed in something. Please celebrate their wins and walk them through their fails. Number 7 is don't always lecture. Don't always lecture. I think I shared this in my video series already. Don't always lecture. Something happens and you go on and on and on and on and on and on talking about it. You see to your child that it's boring. It is boring. Even you, it's boring. So you've done something or something has happened. Someone sits you down. Because at a point in your lecture, it becomes annoying. It becomes like, oh yeah, talk, finish, make I go. They're no longer listening to you. They no longer listen to you. So you want to minimize the lectures. You want to minimize the lectures you are giving. Yes, there's a need to correct them. Like a parent asked me, so if I'm not lecturing, how do I correct? I said, just have a conversation, not like you are the one lecturing. Talk to your child. Let them reason. Now, one of the ways to set our children up for success in any area is for them to have internal motivation, intrinsic motivation. And one of the ways to help them develop that is for them to be able to reason, understand the choices they have. And so having a conversation is about helping them reason, not you doing all the lecturing and talking. Just like ask them about what happened, why they made their choices, let them talk about it. Then you now understand, empathize with them. Okay, you did this maybe because of this. Empathize with them and then proffer solutions. Empower them on how they can better behave next time. And after that, you can reach a behavior contract, an agreement with them. Okay, this is what we have agreed. This is the behavior contract. You can have it written in my book, Your Family, My Family Structure Guide, my parenting structure guide. I shared a sample of behavior contract there. So you can have a behavior contract. Okay, you agree on this is it and this is it. You remind your child of your values in a conversational way and not lecturing, because lecturing actually bores them and you don't want to talk to you next time because of your endless lecture. This one, normalize the forbidden topics. A lot of parents, we have topics. Okay, it's not as if we do not want to normalize these topics. It's just that we are not well equipped. We are not well equipped to even talk to these children about this topic. So when they come up with the topics, because we are not well equipped, we just kind of push it away. We just push it away. Now, the more you push it away, the more your child feels they can't depend on you for some things. If your child comes up to you and asks you about sex, ask you about dating, ask you about can I dye my hair, ask you about friends, maybe fraud, all of that, ask you about cheating in exam, a lot of things, because you are not well empowered on how to handle them in such a way that whatever you are teaching aligns with your values, you just want to like push it away. Some parents even want to shut the children down. So at the end of the day, they are not able to trust you enough to talk to you. So these things will happen in your child's school, in their environment. These things will always come up. So they need to be empowered enough to be able to face it. And so you need to also empower yourself to be able to empower them so that they can answer questions or they can face challenges. So normalize every topic. Make it free for your child to tell you any single thing, everything. Just make it free. Make it free. I'm going to have a class on normalizing sexuality education in this channel. I'm hoping to go live, really, to be able to go live so that we can always have enough. I can go on and on about so many topics that actually borders on parenting so that we can learn. So that's why I'm encouraging you to share, to subscribe, and share this video with everyone you know so that I can be coming live and we'll be learning together. Speak their love language. Someone wrote that the child's love language is his momo button. Absolutely true. Speak your child's love language. You know, when you speak your child's love language, your child will kind of, you know, they feel safe with you. They feel loved by you. That way they can share with you anything. They feel loved by you. They feel safe with you. They can trust you to share with you anything. Speak your child's love language. If you don't know about love language, then I'm going to also do a class here on love language subsequently. And again, I need us to share, to subscribe, so that we can bring in more content and we all learn from. Because if you want to ask me, I'll tell you that parenting today is way different from the way we're parented. It's a different ball game. The internet alone is a game changer. The internet alone, technology advancement alone, phone alone, mobile phone, social media alone, TikTok alone, Facebook Reels alone are a game changer. So we cannot afford to say, oh, my parents didn't do this, so my parents did this, I want to do it. We cannot afford to do that because things have so much changed. Things are so much changed that we need to change along lines. We need to change and upgrade our parenting and every single skill we need to raise these children right. Then I said, speak their love language. And the next one is respect their personal space. Now we think barging into our children's room is our room. Now we are the adult, or we just pry through their privacy and all of that. When you pry through a person's privacy, simply means you don't trust that person. You don't trust that person. You are desperate to get information that you want to use to do what? So learn to respect your child's privacy. Respect them. You know, don't always think they are mischievous. Don't always think they are up to no good. Learn to respect their privacy. Share happenings around you with them. This is number 10 now. Share happenings around you with them. It is very important. This is a major one. You come back from work, even if your children are little, they are still young, share with them what happened at work. You had issues with colleagues, you had issue on the road, you had a flat tire, you had an altercation, you had a wind time, you had struggle. Share with them. Let them know that, hey, you are a human being like them. We are all human beings that go through these struggles. It makes them comfortable. They ask you, how do you resolve it? What happened? They ask you. From asking you, they are learning how to resolve their own, and they are trusting you to be able to hold their hands next time when it happens to them. And they trust you that, okay, if this thing can happen to you, then it can also happen to them. So they don't feel any boundary. They don't feel any boundary coming to share with you when it happens to them, because you shared with them when it happens to you. So it's a normal thing. It happens. So I remember my son telling me something recently that, Mom, is it a family tradition? I said, seriously? how can something unpleasant become a family tradition? Because it happened once and it happened twice, you know, because it happened to me and it happened to him. So I shared mine when it happened to him, or asked, is it a family tradition? But because I shared mine, it was easy for him to come and share his. So that is it. Please share your happenings around them. Then teach your child life skills. It is very important. A lot of things are happening. You should be able to understand your child, the age your child is, and you should be able to understand some of the events that will happen around him. Then begin to empower your child on how to deal with these events, deal with these issues when they happen. So it makes it easy for them to come and share with you when it happens. Someone shared something with me. The first time I actually talked about any your child's trust on Facebook. After a while, someone shared something with me. When I talked about this, teaching your child life skill, empower your child with choices, behaviors, options, character skills for every single phase of life they are going to face. And she shared something with me that her son, she actually talked to her son, teenage son, about dating, relationship, and all of that, boundaries with girls and all of that. So just after she just shared with her son, about a week later, the son came to her and said, Mom, you didn't tell me that girls can also come to ask you out. So a girl came to him, and the girl was kind of telling him that he liked him and all of that. So when he now said, okay, so we are still in secondary school, why don't we wait? So the girl was not calling him like, he's not a big boy, things like that. So he came to tell his mom what happened. Now, imagine if his mom had not empowered him already, he may not have come to tell his mom. But because his mom had told him everything about relationship, dating, the mom now left the aspect of guests will also come and approach you, guests will also come and meet you, So this is how you can handle it. Because the mom didn't tell him that, so when it happened, it became easy for him to come and say, Mom, you didn't tell me that. Or somebody see what happened, and he was able to, and the mom was able to say, okay, that's fine. And the mom was able to empower him on what to do. So teach your child life skills. When I mean life skills, I mean empower them to be able to handle the challenges, the event, not just challenges, the events that will come as they grow up, the event that comes with their growing phase. Empower them to be able to handle it. Number 12 is keep their secret. Now, this is a big one. Of all the many teenagers I talked to, this was a recurring one. Not keeping their secret. Your child shares something with you. You go and tell your brother. You tell your sister. Maybe you tell your pastor. You tell your friends, What are you telling them for? Your sister is not your child's sister. Remember that. Even if your sister is your child's sister, your child may not want the sister to even know something that has happened. You go and tell everybody, and not everybody that actually wants to help or can actually help, especially people your child do not have relationship with. Then you go and start telling them about what happens to your child, and then they will call your child and start saying, don't you know this thing is bad? Don't do it again. Before someone can influence your child, they need to have a relationship. So if your child and your sister or your brother or your best friend do not have relationship, you don't have to share your child's secret with them. And funny enough, those people also have their children. So when you share your child's secret with them, they may talk to their children about it. And when they meet somewhere, they refer to it carelessly. They refer to it, they can use it to tease your child. They refer to it carelessly. What do you think happens? Your child comes back and he's not happy about it. And next time, it doesn't want to share with you because you are narrating them. You are snitching. You are kind of gossiping about them. So learn to keep your child's secret. It is very, very important. Show that you can protect them. This is number 14. Show that you can protect them. I'll just share a quick story. A friend of mine, growing up, he said why he never shared with his dad was because each time anything happened, the father would always say, let's leave it to God. Let's leave it to God. So one day he believed that the father was a weakling. That was why the father was always leaving it to God. So nothing. He wasn't telling the father anything again. Even when he got to the uni and he was being trying to be pressurized into joining court, he didn't tell his father because his father would always tell him, leave it to God. So over the years, the father has shown that he cannot protect him. So he felt the father was hiding under leave it to God because the father was weak. So show that you can protect your children. Once in a while, when something happens, let the children know that, hey, I'm a calm mom, I'm a patient mom, I'm an intentional mom, but hey, I don't take it when people cross my boundaries. I don't take it when people cross my boundaries. I heard someone actually shared with me that Daddy Jill, Pastor Deboye once said that if you want to know if you want to know how if you want to know more about him, as if you want to know the other side of him, touch any of his child, touch any of his children, rather touch his child, touch any of his children, then you will know see the other side of him. Once in a while, let your children know that, hey, I can protect you. That way your child will trust you when things happen. And funny enough, I have a personal story to share on showing that you can protect your child, really. But maybe another time I'll share this story. Next one is talk to them and not at them. We always have a way of talking at our children. We talk at them. When someone talks at you, like anger, we talk with anger. We give instructions, we give orders. They don't matter. We don't let them, we don't hear from them. You are just angry, you are throwing it there. No. Something has happened, or your child has misbehaved, or whatever you want to pass, you can actually calm down, take a deep breath. I always tell my parents in my accountability community that it is not an emergency. If it is not an emergency, then you can always wait till you are calm, till you are settled, till you are in a good place to talk about it. So talk to your child and not at your child. Talk to them about your struggles. I've talked about that already. Talk to your child about your struggles. You are not perfect. You have struggles. You have challenges, just like every other person anywhere. So talk to your child about your struggles. That way, they'll want to share with you about their struggles, because they know that no one is perfect. So I've talk to them about your struggles already. So it's also here. So I just about your wins and your fails. I've talked about that already. Talk to them about your wins, about your fails, about your struggles, and everything you also go through. So I also have talked about show that you can protect them. Openly protect them. Show that you can protect them. Don't always say leave it to God, like my friend's dad always said, that gave him the impression that his dad could not protect him. Show that it's hard to earn your child's trust. And I'm actually sharing from my ebook. I have an ebook on how to earn your child's trust. It's actually 30 tips I shared in the ebook, and I hope I can share everything in this one video. Now, trust is the destination. It's not something you just force. No, you have to earn it. You have to work towards it. That's why I said it's a destination. So I said earlier on at the beginning of this class that it is not in the one thing you do, but it is a series of things you do. And it is not in one day. It is the everyday thing you do. You have a child, you know that you have a goal for your child to be able to earn your child's trust, especially at that age, that teenage years, where they actually have a lot of things, where they will get influence and all of that. You want your child to be able to trust you absolutely by then. So you want to start from when your child is small. Your child is a toddler. Your child comes with all those things that you feel annoying, or disturb, or whatever you call them. You want to start from there to start building the trust gradually, so that by the time your child gets to that teenage years, you are hoping that whenever they meet issues, they meet challenges, they face anything, they can fall back on you, call on you, run to you, and you can influence them. So I've mentioned quite a number of things, and the next one, so I've actually lost I actually don't remember the number I am, but I hope I can cover everything before the end of the class, so that the video is just one video and not I don't have to break it. The next one is be able to help. Yes, I know sometimes children come up with different things. Sometimes they don't want you to help them. They just want to talk about it. So you should be able to understand when they want your help and when they just want to talk. When they just want to talk, then give them an ear for them to talk. And when they want you to help, be able to help them. Be able to help when they want help, and talk when they want, and listen when they just want to talk. And listen when they just want to talk. So when they want help, be able to help them. Don't leave them on all to themselves. Be able to find help. They can trust that, oh, mom will always be able to help. Dad will be able to help. So I can actually talk to my parents. And remember, I start from small. They grow with that impression. They grow with the mindset. So that's how they learn that you can trust them, and they can actually fall back to you when they need to. The next one is keep your promise. We do not realize how important these things are really. Keep your promise. You promise a child something when you are not doing it every time. Okay, I'll take you out. You don't take them out. I will do this. You don't do it. Gradually, you are slacking. Trust is like, let me say, there's a trust bank account that you need to keep depositing into. Now, the more you break your promise, the more you withdraw from that trust account. And at the end of the day, if the trust is not full when the time is right, your child will not be able to trust you. So that trust needs to be full. For that trust to be full, you need to keep doing these things I'm talking about that will help your child trust you. You need to keep depositing into the trust account, the trust bank account, for your child to be able to trust you. And one way is to keep your promise. Each time you make a promise, you fail. No matter the promise you have made, each time you fail, it simply means you're telling your child, I cannot be trusted. And your child learns to trust you less and less when you break your promise. So learn to keep your promise. Learn to make promises you can keep so that your child can trust you. Now, let me quickly refer to something I didn't write here that is very important. I've shared it on social media before, on my Facebook. I talked about when your child is not feeling well, especially when your child is a little child, you take your child to the hospital and then you tell your child, oh, injections won't hurt or drugs are not bitter. Your child that takes the injection or takes the drug, they are bitter. What do you think? Tomorrow you tell them something, they do not want to believe you because the previous time it came out not to be true. We don't realize that these things actually matter. Like I said, there is a trust bank account you keep depositing into. Now, the more you do these things that make your children doubt you, the more you are withdrawing from the trust bank account instead of depositing into it. So you want to be very intentional, be very mindful of what you do so that you are not withdrawing instead of depositing. One of the ones I shared in my video series is do not judge. Yes, we don't realize how much impression we make on our children by our reactions generally. When you judge people, you always judge people, you criticize people. Your child learns that that is your standard. That is your expectation from humans, and your child is a human being. So when they make mistakes which are normal, they may not likely share with you because they have fallen short of your standard. They have not met your expectations, so it becomes difficult for them to share with you. So what you want to do is to minimize your judgment. Now, one of the issue that actually inspired this video, this Earning Your Child's Trust, was a parent actually reached me. Her daughter was almost raped and her teenage daughter was almost raped, and the daughter didn't tell her. Instead, the girl told her best friend, and her best friend told her mom. It was the best friend mom that shared with this woman that reached me. So when I got, because she was so angry, I don't beat her, I don't yell at her, we're supposed to be parties, we're supposed to be cool, and why didn't she share with me? When I got talking to her, this was exactly what she talked about. Someone was raped, and when the mom was talking about it, the mom was like, why would she not be raped? She the way she's dressed, she's always dressing scantily, so why would she not be raped? So when it happened to her, she felt, oh, this mom was going to blame her too. Maybe she went to the guy's house, maybe she even spoke to the guy or something like that. So that was how she did not share. That was basically why she did not share with her mom, because she feared that she was going to be blamed for it. So minimize the way you judge others. When you judge others, your child is learning. They are forming an impression and they are going to run with it. That impression, they are going to relate with you. That's how they are going to relate with you, based on the impression they have formed. The next one is do not fix misbehaviors with punishments. We do this a great deal. Parents do this. Your child misbehaves. The next thing is punishment. It's painful and children do not like it. I know you want to modify a behavior. I know you want to correct a misbehavior, but you do not have to always use that punishment. There are other discipline methods you can use to modify behaviors without afflicting pain, because the goal is to modify a behavior. The goal is to make sure that the behavior is not repeated. And in making sure the behavior is not repeated, it is not about punishment. There are very many strategies you can use to modify behaviors that is not afflicting pain. So I actually have an ebook and even a video course on it, effective ways to discipline the child without flogging. So you want to learn other ways to discipline the child without flogging, so that you are not pushing your child away. And when the time is right for your child to confide in you, they will not be able to confide in you, because over the years you have withdrawn from their trust bank account. Let the past be where it belongs. Now, this is very important. I know, because sometimes things happen and we are pained. So you want to make reference to it. You want to refer to it 1 or 2 times. But hey, the more you refer to it, the more your child remembers, the more your child feels bad. They feel miserable, especially if it's something that actually brings shame to them. The more you shame them. So because of that, when things happen, they do not want to tell you, because they may be trying to heal from that thing that has happened. You know, they feel bad, they feel broken, they are trying to heal from that thing, and you keep rubbing it on their faces, then they are never going to be able to heal from it. And because they don't want to have so many baggages, they are not going to share with you. Again, it's a withdrawal from your trust bank account. So instead of withdrawing, deposit in the trust bank account. Show up by all means. I've talked about this when I talked about prioritizing your child. Show up by all means. You say they are important to you, then let it reflect in your actions. Let it reflect in your choices. Let it reflect in your behaviors. Let them be able to see you show up for them all the time. Children in school, show up for them. They have activities, show up for them. They are like they have challenges, show up for them. Show up for them, meet their emotional needs. Let them know that you are trusted to be there for them. Let them know that they actually matter to you. One of the ways to invest, to deposit into your child's trust bank account, is to show up for them. Remember their special days. Yes, some children, even some adults, their special days matter a great deal to them. Remember their birthdays, they are all happy. Remember their anniversary, wedding anniversary, they are all happy. For adults, remember some days that are significant in their lives, they are all happy. It happens to children also. Those special days, you celebrate them, it makes them feel very good. When they feel Children's Day, you celebrate Children's Day, make it special for them. Their birthdays, make it special for them. They won an award, you can have it framed, put somewhere, and you refer to it. Oh, this was when you won an award. They remember the good times and they always feel good. We feel safe in a place we feel good, right? So your child will feel good if you actually deposit more in his or her bank account by remembering his or her special day, and show empathy. This is very important. We are quick to run off and judge without really showing empathy. Yes, so they may have done something or something may have happened, but hey, you show empathy. You let your child know that, okay, it happened. It has happened. You are pained about it, even though you were the one that made a mistake. You've seen your mistake, you regret your mistake, it happens. But hey, what can we do? Show empathy. Let your child know that, hey, I'm there with you. Show empathy. People, human beings generally, we love people who don't judge us, who understands our pain, who understand where we are going to, who feels our pulse also. We appreciate them. So your child will learn to trust you if you learn to feel your child's pain. Be loyal. This is very, very important. Be loyal. I'm just trying to wrap up so that we can finish up everything. And if you want more, then you can get my ebook, 30 tips to earn your child's trust. This is just 1,000 naira only, and you get it right away. You get it right away. Be loyal. Be your child's cheerleader. Be their fan. It is okay. I'll just share this. This one, 2 adults now shared it with me. One said she was dating someone and the relationship was kind of abusive. You know how women are. She just wanted the relationship. We felt okay. She actually wishes to get married soon, so she was just hanging on, hoping things would get better. And so everyone in her family knew the guy she was dating, so it was fine. But the relationship wasn't a good one. It was kind of toxic, but she was hanging in there because she wanted to marry, like we say in this part. So one day the guy woke up and said he was done with it. He wasn't doing it again because the guy was never really into it. The guy will always compare her. See, the hair you are carrying is not good enough. I see the other girl's hair. I like your hair flowing like that. This dress you are wearing, things like that. Always comparing her. So one day the guy said, you know what? I'm just forcing this. Let's call it over. And that was it. So her parents got to know, and guess what? Oh, it's your fault. You have bad character. That is why you could not even keep a simple relationship. Someone else, this time a guy, shared the same thing with me. He wasn't ready to settle down like now because he didn't have the means, and he was dating, and then the girl wanted to settle down, and then she went with someone else that was ready to settle down, and his family got to know about it, and they were like, you have bad character. Haven't we always told you? Haven't you always told you to change your ways? Now you didn't, because you have not changed your ways, now you have missed a very good girl and all of that. Be your child's cheerleader, be their fan, be loyal to them, even in the face of anything. Be loyal to them, empathize with them, let them know that we are in this together. I understand what you are feeling. I understand, yes, even if you want to talk about things that are their fault, but first of all, understand the pain they are going through and be loyal to them in that time. That's when they need you the most. And the last one I'm talking about is creating a bond with your child. Deliberately create a bond with your child. Create activities, create events. One of these days, I'm going to talk about how to create a bond with your child. We are going to talk about having this bond where your child can absolutely trust. Bond, yes, I've shared a lot of things with how your child can trust you, but I'm going to talk about, especially for very busy parents who always say, I don't have time for special activities with my children. Even in your busyness, you can also create times for bonding. You can also create time to make a good lasting impression. And I'm going to talk about this soon in another video. Thank you so much for watching. And if you got value from this video, which I know you definitely did, or you would, please share this video. And if you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe. And if you look at our videos, you realize that it is not all about parents and questions parents ask. We also have a section for children that talks about manners, poise, character building, called the Character Club. So you want to have your kids come to the Character Club and learn character skills while you also get empowered on parenting skills for a better parenting experience. Thank you so much for trusting me to do this with you today again. My name is Inimerobo. Again, if you find value, please like, comment. I'll respond to your comment, share, and subscribe. See you in the next video. Bye.